Welcome, Amelia. It's so nice to have you.
So
Yeah,
happy
I,
to
I
be
don't
here.
want to say too many words about you, except for that I'm really excited to hear your story because I myself find it very inspiring how you moved from a PhD in astrophysics into finance, correct? Where
Yes.
you work as a data analyst. And we're really excited to hear your story, how you made the transition, and what life looks like now.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm very happy to be here. Okay, so admittedly, I haven't shared like slides on Teams in a while, so you'll have to, is it okay if I share slides?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. You can do this is your time. You can fill it with and however you want. So you can absolutely share. I know sometimes it's a bit tricky on Teams. I fall into that trap all the time. Yay, but it's working.
Okay. Oh no, now you guys are seeing everything. Okay, there we go. Um,
If you
okay,
just
I
start the
assume that
slideshow, Amelia, sorry.
uh like set show 1 second. I'll just reshare because I was already uh,
Yeah,
doing
it looks
that.
like you were sharing the wrong kind of window, Amelia.
Like the
So if you put it
presenter
against,
notes or whatever.
yeah, you were showing the presenter notes.
Okay. Oh, that's embarrassing. Give me 1 second. Okay, now I will try to share. Can you see it now?
1 second, Amelia. I think it's coming.
How
But
does
if
the
not,
view now?
it's a black screen, which is interesting because on the side I can see your slides to the left.
Oh
But
yeah,
you
I see that as well.
But you
Okay.
know what we can do also, worst case, if you can send it to me and I can share it for you. You just tell me when I should move forward.
Yeah?
That would be the
Okay, that would be super helpful. Let me ping you right now. Guess this is why you said that we should arrive a little bit early.
It's okay, Amelia, this is a totally relaxed space. Like you cannot imagine, like this week has been a wild ride. Everyone who has been here since Monday knows.
Oh yeah.
It's been, a very interesting learning experience, but everyone is very forgiving because we've all been there. We're all PhDs. We all know things are never perfect, even if we would like them to be. um
Yeah. Something similar happened during my proposal defense. It was super embarrassing. Um, but yeah, this is definitely lower stakes. So I'm just going to send that over to you right now. I
Awesome.
had to make a copy of it. I appreciate your patience. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Here, I got it. Now let me quickly download. And now, Amelia, let me see if I can actually share, because I'm like, sometimes I'm also just so nervous about it because I'm like, I'm not sure it's gonna work. But I
I
think
can
I
also
should be.
just the hawk, worst case scenario.
No, wait, no, I'm gonna fix this for us now. I'm just gonna quickly open it already, so then I can just okay, media, perfect. Here we go. I love the pink background.
Tried to match the Alma Me colors.
Look, I'm gonna start the um uh, slideshow, and you just tell me Here you go. Welcome,
Thank you
Amelia.
so much, Elena. All right, look at us tag teaming. Great teamwork here. So yes, hello, all of you. It's so nice to be here. My name is Amelia Henkel. I am here today to talk about my career transition from high energy astrophysics to uh, corporate finance. Bit of a large transition. So yeah, here to talk today about kind of what that entailed and what I found helpful in my journey. Just a little quick about me. I was born and raised in Providence, Rhode Island. I drew a little map here because I think we've got participants from all over the world. And then after I graduated high school in Rhode Island, I went one state to the west, to Connecticut, and went to UConn, where I got degrees in physics and human rights. Is really just the study of human wrongs, but that's another story. Um, I did
Go.
a You're good. I did a gap year in Cape Town working for the International Astronomical Union when I was trying to figure out if I wanted to do the law school route or the PhD route, and eventually, obviously, chose the PhD route where I continued to pursue high energy astrophysics. But instead of looking at supermassive black hole binaries, I was now looking at neutron star binaries, so a bit more compact and smaller scale, but still compact mergers. Really fun stuff, and happy to talk about that as well. And then I defended in August of last year. Took me a few months of intense searching to find my current role at Fidelity Investments, which is back in Rhode Island. So I basically did a loop around New England and then kind of made my way back to Rhode Island, where I've been an analyst ever since. And move on. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to like work out a little bit of a timeline for everyone around T-1 year. So for those unfamiliar, that just means like 1 year before the thing. I showed these slides to my friend and he was like, what does that mean? So summer 2024, I started thinking about what I wanted to do next. You can progress, Elena. And without knowing exactly what I wanted to do yet, I had identified that my main goals were wanting to live closer to my family. And for reference, I was a 2 hour drive away. Um, so like, but that was still far in my mind. Rhode Island is the smallest state in the country. A 15-minute drive is long. I wanted to be close to family. And I also wanted better compensation than is typically offered in academia. I'm sure that's something that a lot of people here can relate to thinking about. And then more generally, I wanted a job that kind of took less from me than I found my PhD experience to take from me. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but it was very academia is being a high control institution. You put a lot of yourself into it, and it's more than just a 9 to 5. I kind of was more interested in exploring a 9 to 5. And Elena, if you want to hit the next slide, thank you. Yeah, so at this point, I was pretty open to doing whatever as long as I could keep doing Python, keep getting challenged with problem solving, and keep working with data. And we can go. So I really kind of started taking things seriously the year, like when 2025 started, which was the year I was to defend. Um, and I attended a group called Pi Data Boston in Boston. And then the following month, I became an organizer for them, and I've been an organizer ever since. I found this to be an excellent networking opportunity, but I don't think networking for me has correlated strongly with landing a job, getting a job offer. It's just helped with social support and exposure to the breadth of positions available in industry. So I've been going there once a month. I just, because I'm an organizer, I have to promote it. Pi Data is an organization that has about 200,000 members across the world. There's likely a club that meets somewhere near you, and I recommend you checking it out. They're always super fun, really welcoming communities. You could even go and like give a talk and promote your work. Um, so I was into this idea of like going to local events and meeting people in person. I've been told I'm like a good people person, so trying to get in front of people to like sell my skills was something I was interested in doing. I attended another event in Boston called AI Tinkers. Again, if you're near any city, just go on like meetup.com and there's tons of events near you that are related to various special interests. I met under there and started an internship in like fintech sector there, and that was again 2 months before I was defending. Not a lot of work, but just kind of enough to dip my toes in. As I was doing that, I was searching LinkedIn for data science jobs, or I would just type data in the search query. Um, Looked specifically in the Boston area, and kind of whenever I met at least 50% of the requirements, I would apply to them because yeah. So I would take anywhere from 15 to 60 minutes to edit each cover letter, which is very time consuming. Ideally, you should only be editing 1 to 2 sentences of a cover letter instead of like the whole vibe each time. I was also tracking the jobs I was applying to, not too much data, just the title, the company, and when I applied. And then every now and then, if I felt so inspired, I would go on LinkedIn and try to find some recruiters for that role or for that company and make contact with them. Cool. Yeah. Oh, you are muted, but I think yeah. Oh no, the emojis. Oh my God. I spent so much time making these custom emoji borders with like the most fitting whatever. Okay. This is the really freaked out emoji. You'll just have to like picture it. Um, so over the course of like 5.5 months, I'd submitted almost 200 applications. And I was right about to defend my PhD. I still didn't have a job yet. I was freaking out. So I knew it was kind of time to pivot. Elena, if you want to go to the next slide. So that's when decided to start working with Alma Me, and I'm not getting paid to say this, but I'm so incredibly happy that I did. And yeah, everything worked out so incredibly well with their assistance and guidance. So while leaving the meat of it to them, because this is a service they're providing, I will just outline what I found to be the most helpful and kind of outline the main pivots that I was making. So, um, I met with Angela and we had a conversation about like how to focus my job search. Um, and I knew, as I'm not going to just read off the slides, but I wasn't the strongest applicant for a lot of data science jobs. I've never taken a comp sci class. Um, I was really interested in building a solid financial future for myself. Okay, total spoiler, Elena, but it's okay. um, and I also knew I had the one piece of data that this fintech startup founder was interested in my background and skills. So we decided to kind of refine this search to only really look in the finance sector and specifically for like 1 to 2 titles: quantitative analyst, data analyst, financial analyst. These are all, while different titles, close enough in skill set and core competencies that you don't need to change much, if anything, about your application materials. Um, so the specifics of how I kind of pivoted my strat was I started looking more at Hiring Cafe, which is a very I don't know how to say this, but like I like their search functionality way more than LinkedIn and all of the other job boards. And then I would move to LinkedIn. Very importantly, if I could like flash this second point like really big, I didn't have time to animate it, but filter your job searches. You don't want to be applying to a job that was listed 2 months ago, 6 months ago, a year ago, even 3 weeks ago. They are already likely like multiple steps down in the hiring process at that point. Um, you really want to be so the way that it was explained to me is um, applications, they're going to come in some order, right? Like there's the first application, second, third. And so the recruiter or whoever is in charge of reading these applications will look at the first one and then the second one. So typically, um, companies are usually able to get a like 5 to 8 competitive candidates within the first 100 or so applications. So if you're 150, you're just not really going to be seen, even if you're a better fit than those other ones that came before you. So getting in early is wicked, wicked important. I also thoroughly revamped my resume and cover letter to make it a lot less jargony and more impact based. That's something that the Alma Me folks helped me out a lot with. And I was last night while I was pulling up the before and after, I was like, oh my goodness, this is night and day. I did pull a couple screen caps and I'll discuss those in later slides. But another thing that I thought was super helpful was reaching out to the hiring manager via email, not the recruiter via LinkedIn. Um, I don't know how many other people are, how, yeah, it's just super helpful. Um, yeah, I guess we can go into the next slide. So, yeah, with that new strategy, it took a little over 3 months, like 3 months and 5 days, and 140 applications later, I received a six-figure offer in my home state of Rhode Island, which is awesome because I'm super family oriented. If you want to hit the next slide, you'll see where I got hired. Or I guess I said that earlier, but yeah. So this was like dream come true. I I have like, obviously you can't see it, but I have like goosebumps just thinking about it right now. Really, like, yeah, this felt as big as like, Amelia, you are now a doctor from my advisor. Awesome. Um, so if you want to go to the next slide, I can go into a little bit more about the specific changes that I made. I'll just like maybe we'll linger here for like 10 seconds while everyone can scan, but I am gonna like pick it apart a little bit. Um, so yeah, the top is what I had before, and then after is after revising, going through a couple of iterations with the folks at Almami. Um, oh, I have a question. Oh my God, there's a lot. How do you go early? What helps you know when the job was posted? There are filters. So doing this on LinkedIn versus Hiring Cafe is going to look a little different. But there's always like a filter for the last 24 hours or last 3 days or something like that. Um, and reaching out to the hiring manager, that's usually like a few steps process, but Uh, maybe I will leave that to like Angela and Elena to speak a bit more on. Because I forgot exactly how I found like the person, but I know uh it's a bit more straightforward to find their likely email address and then just kind of sending something over. Um
Amelia, one
so
question. When I look at the, because I can't see, can you see the entire presentation, or can you see now that I'm looking actually at you in the question chat?
I can
The,
see the second thing. Yes.
okay, you can see me looking at the chat.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. So then I need to close it. Sorry, I wanted to assist you and help you, but I don't think I can while I'm sharing. Okay, then I will. Oh,
You're
sorry.
all good. You're all good.
Let me see.
No, I
Sorry.
have it
What did I
open
do
next to me
now?
too.
Ah, okay. I need to close. No, wait. I don't want to end the meeting. Give me 1 second. Okay, Amelia, I'm gonna click X here.
Oh no, did we lose her? Oh no. Okay, I will just answer a couple of the cues that I'm seeing. Um, I I
Gee, I actually locked myself out of the meeting. I'm so sorry, guys. I tried to return. You see, I shouldn't be left alone with technology. Angela, where are you? Okay, Amelia, I'm going back to. Oh, yeah, I'm really not the technology person in this company. Okay, play from current slide. I apologize, and I will share. Mm, start sharing. And now let me see if I can actually share the window, Amelia, because then I can see. Yeah, perfect. Then I can actually look at the chat. Play from, sorry, play from current slide. Sorry, here we go.
Thank you so much, Selena. Okay, so actually, if you want to go to the next slide,
Yeah.
we will get into some of the specifics on why my old application kind of sucked. Um, so I'm sure you all noticed there's like an old uh newspaper like spot the differences thing. There are many differences between these before and after. One that I'd like to draw your attention to, your average recruiter is not going to like know what a graduate research assistant does versus what a data scientist does or computational biologist or I'm less familiar with the humanities admittedly, but something like that that you actually see in industry or you actually see jobs for. um it'll be helpful. There's more context for whoever's reading your resume. Um, Also, from the top to bottom here, I changed the date format to make uh, it easier for ATS or the applicant tracking system to parse the resume. Um, so a large pain point for many job applicants is when you're going through an application, you submit your resume, you submit your cover letter, and then they're like, all right, what was your job experience? And you have to enter it all again. Um, when your resume is ATS optimized, that process, like when you click like import from resume or like the autofill, that autofill is going to be much less painful and much more accurate when your resume is ATS optimized. And I couldn't tell you the first thing off the top of my head about ATS optimization. Just look it up online. There's a lot of like best practices. Another thing I will draw your attention to is like, and I think this was kind of being discussed when I first popped in, like what finance professional is going to care that I focused on fundamental research on the nature of binary neutron stars? Like, very heady, very smart, sure, but like, is no indicator for potential success or competency in the role I'm applying for. Um, so one of the ways that we kind of revised my resume was just taking a big old step back. And instead of having each bullet point be like, say there were 5 bullet points and each one was like 20% of the work I did, it was like now it's like each bullet point is self-contained enough. Like the whole project is in that one line. Um, and that is evidenced kind of in the bottom 2 bullet points here. Like those each of those summarize an entire project, an entire paper. And I'd like to clarify that for for my actual resume, I have a couple more bullet points for both cases. It's just it was like painful to read all 5 bullet points on the slide. Um, so I feel like those are the main things I wanted to mention here. Yeah, I mean, impact-based statements, impact-based statements, impact-based statements. Write it on your forehead so you see it when you look in a mirror. Like very important. Um, and you know, I'm sure you can see that the bottom set of statements are much more impact-based than the above ones. Um, and you're trying to avoid jargon to make this more broadly readable, but some of it is going to be unavoidable. Like you did your PhD, you did research. So yeah, and then also adding in some numbers when you can is always a good thing. But ready to move on to the next slide. Also sorry these aren't all like super pretty, and I'll go really fast. Because I want to leave space for questions. I just wanted to say the new listings, like I mentioned, super important. tweaking my application materials to be much more impact based and less, I'm so smart, to be frank. I mean, that's kind of the vibe it was giving. Um, Reaching out to the hiring managers via email, um, that's just my opinion. Like no one's told me like that was like none of the jobs I applied for was like that was your distinguishing thing. But like I think it absolutely helped. And then a bit more nebulous, just the persistence, the keeping at it even when, oh my gosh. And I just got like bad goosebumps keeping at it when things were like that. Social support, I cannot overstate its impact. And then just kind of like being my authentic self, instead of trying to be like smart other people who I admire and would like to emulate. Like just be yourself. And then with that, I will close and ask for questions. Oh yeah, and these are just like some other things I wanted to mention. Like there's a ton of I could be here for hours. I've found this career transition into industry endlessly fascinating. I've been meaning to start a blog post about it. Stay tuned. But like, yeah, this is just some of the things that you're welcome to ask me about. And thank you all so much for your time and your questions. And yeah, I would love, love, love to chat more. Love talking to people. Um, and I would love to come to any of your thesis defenses if they're coming up. Um, for those of you who don't know this animal, it's the cotton top tamarin, and it's one of the smallest primates in the world, weighing in at under 1 pound. That's half a kilogram, guys. So yeah, that's all. Thank you so much. Um, They're all okay, so many questions all at once, but I see one about if I'm enjoying my current job. I'm absolutely loving it. I'm having a blast here. Um, yeah, it's a lot of fun. And yeah, Elena,
Amelia, how would you do you want me to assist you? Do you want to pick them yourself? It's completely I can look through and I can moderate it a little bit, or you can pick whatever you would love to answer.
I think you should do it because
Okay.
new questions come in and I'm like, oh, that one, that one. So yeah.
Okay. So let me see. I'm gonna because I couldn't really look at the chat because I tried to navigate the technical part here. So let me see. Bum bum bum. Hi everyone. Oof, okay, 1 second. Greetings from fellow dual humanists. Okay. I think I need to. There is a lot of where
I
does chat?
saw
Yeah,
oh s- I saw a lot about like the hiring manager thing, like how do you reach
yeah,
out to the hiring manager? Um I I okay, so actually I'm remembering some of it now. Somewhere in the job listing, um, there's usually like the applicant will report to chapter like I'm trying to think of like mine. It was like to chapter lead for advanced analytics and AI or something like that. And so then I go on LinkedIn, I look for chapter lead, advanced analytics, and AI Fidelity. Usually you find it that way. Um, and that's going to depend on company size. Like sometimes there are multiple people with that title, and yeah. And what you're saying to them is basically an even shorter version of your cover letter. Just like, hey, I'm so eager to have the opportunity to apply. Here's a couple impact based statements on my work and why I'm impressive. Would love to connect. Or like, yeah. And again, our Alma Me folks can speak way more on that and they've got the data to back all of this up. But that was kind of the high level.
yeah, and I think that's really it's decoding the understanding how you can decode the job description because certain things will be mentioned in a certain way, just as you exemplified, and then you can go and see if you can actually identify the person and reach out. I do have actually a question, Amelia, or it's not a question that was actually phrased, but I would love to um, still bring it in because Henry says still 140 applications.
Thank
Congratulations,
you.
but that's an intimidating requirement of time. Can you talk a little bit how could you be efficient? Because I think that's also something 140 sounds a lot, but if you have the right, I would say strategy, you can actually do it.
Yeah. Um, for sure. Yes, I mean, there's like a few parts to that, right? So I I tried to set what I thought would be an appropriate pace for me. Now, I started working with Almami after I defended, and I set a goal of maybe 10 to 15 apps a week. So that was like 2 to 3 a day. If if I had started 2 months before defending, I don't know if I would have been able to do that many. Um, if I started 8 months before, maybe could have had a larger volume out by then. I don't know. Um, but yeah, so that's why I mentioned the persistence at the end, because I was looking at those numbers and I was like, wow, that is kind of a lot. Um, but 140 over the course of 3 months is like, I think that that's less than two a day. So, not doing this on the weekends, because also job ads don't come out on the weekends and you want to see new job ads. So it's kind of pointless. Um, yeah. And a lot of the times, uh, I wouldn't say this is a rule, but it just kind of happened to be the case for me. Say I was applying for a data scientist position at Eversource. Well, Eversource has like 6 data scientist jobs right now or at any given time. Or like the same can be said of several other large companies and organizations. Um, so like, I mean, I think for Fidelity, actually, I one day I was like, financial analyst, submit, quantitative analyst, submit, data analyst, submit. And like, I changed nothing besides maybe actually literally nothing. So yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the key that I kind of tried to allude to is that the way because I know our strategy is that you generally don't change so much. So the resume is set up in a way that it will fit that specific role because you're very tight because someone earlier asked, should we focus on one role? Amelia, I think is absolutely it gives you data, you see what works, what doesn't work. And the nice thing is you can keep using the same basically almost the same. I mean, there are a few things that we actually do adjust, but you can relatively quickly adjust your resume. So while some people, when they enter the program, they sit 1 to 2 hours adjusting one resume for one. And when I say resume, sorry guys, that's the American word for CV, industry CV. They sit 1 to 2 hours to adjust for one role. So then it's an insane investment. But what we usually teach, you should be able to adjust it in like 10, 15 minutes. And then, because I think there is otherwise it's a crazy job to do.
Oh
Even
yeah.
3 applications a day. I mean, it's becoming a lot.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And like I saw a lot of advice online, like use the verbiage they have in their listing so that they're like, "Oh, it's similar." That's not how things work. Uh, you're just wasting time if you're going through and changing, like analyzing data to like compiling data. Like the not going to do much. Um,
I'm looking if we can have one more question. Yes, the recordings of the Careers Week will be available. I'm gonna load them up on our YouTube. You will receive an email when the week has ended. What okay, let me quickly see. Oh, lots of questions came in. So I just want to say to everyone in the room, you're gonna get an email where we put in Amelia's LinkedIn. So if you have further questions, feel free to connect, reach out to her. I will take one more question. Um, what questions did you find difficult to address in your interview, technical or behavioral? How did you handle that?
ooh, um, me finding this question difficult. Sorry. uh, I Uh, so fortunately, I wouldn't say I was heavily challenged during any of the technical interviews that I was in that were synchronous, right? I had a couple I submitted that, oof, they didn't go great. But the in person or like the face to face ones, um, I kind of like asked for clarification, like when I wouldn't know how to like answer a question or like they are saying something assuming I know something that I don't, uh I would I would draw a connection to a thing that I did know about. Um, I I know a lot of people talk about, like, scary interview questions, but I actually it was really more of a conversation, like, "Oh, my cousin's from that state too." Like, like, I don't know how to put it, just, like, structured, but also very rapport building, as opposed to testing. Um, yeah.
I love that. Thank you, Amelia. And sorry, I need to ask you this one last question. I know we're a little bit over time, but I just want, because I think it's such a critical question, and I think a lot of people probably wonder. So now you did a PhD in astrophysics. How does this apply to finance, to whatever you do right now? Can you talk a little bit about, because people, I don't think they really see the
Mhm.
connection between astrophysics and now you're doing some sort of data analytics data. What are the skills that actually open the door? Obviously you don't have a finance degree, so what is it actually that made you, why did they hire you basically?
It's very funny to me that I, like, completely breezed over that part. Thank you for asking. Um, so and a lot of this was actually informed by that part-time internship that I was doing while I was still working on my PhD. So, when I was in grad school and doing research before that as well, my day-to-day work looked like writing Python scripts, analyzing data sets in Jupyter notebooks, using pandas, creating visualizations of it with like Matplotlib and Seaborn and what have you, um, reading things to like stay on top of changes in the field, working with statistics, working with data, things that in my mind feel very much like solving a fun puzzle. So when I started that internship, the first thing that they had me do was like analyze ostensibly analyze a data set in a Jupyter notebook. And I was like, wait, what the hell? People are getting paid like 5 times what I did in grad school to do the same thing, but just asking asking different questions that rely on the same set of tools, if that makes sense. So I'm still using Python, still, I mean, in 2026, a lot more like AI promotion and use in academia, or I'm sorry, in industry. I don't know about academia right now, maybe, but so like that's something that's being encouraged on my team. It's a lot of the same day to day stuff, just applied in a different context.
Amelia, thank you so much. And I think what I'm taking out of this conversation is that I really need to have you on my podcast so we can talk about this a little bit more, because I think this is something that
Please.
resonates with so many. But what you said is so important, realizing how transferable these skills are, and people get paid 5 times for doing the same stuff. So I'm gonna have you back in a podcast because I want to dive into this a little bit deeper, because there are lots of people just like you who have a similar background or some sort of background where they use these tools on a day-to-day basis, and they move into finance. We worked with someone who had a psychology background, but he was very heavy on data, Python R, and he moved into fintech too. So these are the conversations we need to have so people see the transferability of their skills. So Amelia, thank you so much for your time.